Today is home alone. So this weekend, Katie's gone and I got the whole house to myself. Instead of ordering out, I was thinking, why not make some of these classic Korean banchans that I loved growing up. I thought we would put them together and with a nice soup. This soup you can make so simply, but it tastes very good. So I'm going to show you how to kind of revamp some of these classic banchans with a little bit of a key ingredient. Takes it to the next level. Yes, perhaps even better than your mama's. So I purposely assembled each of these dishes to be standalone. You don't have to make all three at once, but if you do, taste even better. If you don't, it's all right. All of them are fail-proof. Well, I can't say 100% fail-proof because sometimes when I say go here, some people manage to go here.
Hey, yo.
Neighbors, let's get started with our soup first. The soup is called daepakguk. That means spring onion soup. The reason I like this soup, it's easy to make, it's light on the stomach, and it's also very good. Half an hour before I turn on the camera, I put in some of those 당면 noodles, which is the Korean glass noodles. Just soaked it in some water. I went to the Korean Mart. I got some brisket here. We'll use around 200 grams. This is, I think, 250, so I'll cut off a little bit. Maybe save this for a miyeokguk or a different type of soup. Give it a few pat downs, okay? If you don't pat this down, all of this goes into the broth and then you're gonna have to clean it later or it smells a little bit. Give a few more dabs, make for a much cleaner soup. I'm gonna just make non-uniform cuts, makes it look and taste better. I'm gonna give it one more pat down and just put this to the side while we wait. And next we have some spring onion. This time I was lazy and I bought the pre-cut ones. In Korean, if you're looking to see how it's spelled, it's daepa. This is different from your scallions or your green onions. It's a little bit bigger. And no, it's not a leek. In Korea, the spring onions just grow bigger. Cut this stalk in half first, and then we're gonna just do small pinky length pieces. Actually, I think I need a little bit more stalk, so I'm gonna add one more white piece here. Just very good. All right, first thing, we're gonna make a broth. You can make anchovy kelp broth, but we're gonna make just the kelp broth today. This is 3 standard cups of water, 750 milliliters. And then we have these little dashima pieces. This is just kelp. Again, feel free to just use anchovy kelp broth bags. Let's drop them in. And the reason we use kelp or dashima is that when this kelp dries naturally, the salt comes out of it and dries on the surface. And this is what we call umami. It's salty, but it has this deep flavoring agent. It's natural and it tastes really good when you put it in soups. All right, once that comes up to boil, reduce the heat to about a medium low and just let it gently simmer for 3 minutes. 1, 2, 3. All right, and 3 minutes has elapsed. Well, let's take this out. Now you'll see that it has changed colors. All that flavor has gone into here. Let's get some vegetable oil, 1 tablespoon in, 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. Mix that in like that. Flame on. Just give me the light and pass the dough. Who's gonna catch my flow? And now if you check back in on the meat, you'll see there was a lot more residual blood than you thought. And trust me, now that you've done this step, it's gonna taste even better. Beautiful. Mix it around. And once you lose most of the red in the meat, let's put in our spring onions. It's gonna add flavor to the oil as well. Now this spring onion is gonna soak in all of that residual oil into itself and then release that back into the broth. Watch, you'll see most of the oil is gonna be gone after we stir fry this. All right, and where did all that oil go? It's in the spring onions, okay? So after about 1 minute, we don't wanna go too long, that dashima broth, you see it's a yellow color? Yes. Flame on again. We're going to bring it back up to a boil. Let's get it on a high heat. And when it comes up to boil, you're going to see all of that residual stuff. You want to get rid of that. To skim the surface, try your best not to empty out the entire soup. Now you should reduce this to medium-low heat so that it could gently simmer away. Then I would give it around 4 or 5 minutes so that spring onion and all the flavors can come together. We're gonna add in 1.5 tablespoons of soup soy sauce. You can use regular soy sauce if you like. 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. All right, guys, and then sprinkle on some black pepper. All right. And then remember those vermicelli noodles? Just grab a handful, add that in. And as soon as these noodles get cooked through, which should be about a minute or two, we're ready. Oh man, doesn't that look delicious? Turn off the heat, that looks good. And yes, yes. All right, not a single drop left over. Beautiful. One thing, if you add those noodles, those Korean tangmyeon noodles, they soak up the broth. So I would recommend making the soup last or right before you eat. That way you can eat it up quickly, or else, and no broth left over. All right, I'll see you later, buddy. Yes, one of my favorite ingredients, tofu. In Korean, dubu. Tofu, dubu, tofu, dubu, dubu, tofu, dubu, dubu. This one is 300 grams, but I'm thinking I want to make a lot and then eat the leftovers because this one tastes really good, cold as well. So I'm going to work with 1.5 blocks today. So let's empty the water first. Now this tofu is packed with water. Let's get a few paper towels. We'll just fold it over. You can just give it a little press. Now, you're not going to get all the water out of this, nor do you need to. We are not on a mission to turn this into bacon. Okay, it doesn't need to be that crispy. Swap it out, do it one more time. Alternatively, if you don't want to use paper towels, what you can do is just put this on a small plate and pop it in the microwave for about 2 minutes. And then what I like to cut it into thirds. It's 1, 2, good. And then 1.5. I like the size of this. Very nice. I'm going to do the same for this. Cut this in half. Yeah, I'm going to just use half. All right, now if you do have leftover tofu, what you can do is put it back into the little container and then just fill this up with some water and just like new. Put this back in the refrigerator and it'll let it stay fresh for maybe a few more days. Now we've done a variation of this recipe in the past, but adding oyster sauce to the traditional mix of sauce ingredients, it just takes it to the next level. Let's do 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. All right, that's 1 and 2. Then 2 tablespoons of oyster sauce. Get in there. 2 tablespoons in. Then we got to get some fresh garlic in there. 1/2 tablespoon of minced garlic. We need that garlic flavor in there. And then this version, the sauce becomes a little bit sticky and it holds on to the tofu rather than just being in a liquid, which I don't prefer. 2 tablespoons of honey. This will balance out the saltiness, add some sweetness, and also add that sticky kind of viscosity. 2 tablespoons. This is really good honey, grown locally in Korea. Korean style, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of gochugaru, Korean red chili pepper flakes. This is going to add heat. 1 tablespoon of sesame oil. And then like a freshman orientation party, bring everyone together awkwardly, make it smooth, make them talk, and then sooner than later, you'll see some drama happening. Now, this is too much drama to handle. This is going to be too strong, so we need to water this down. We're going to add 1/3 cup of water. Remember, we're going to braise this. Oh, and I forgot some of the sesame seeds. It's good to have these guys in here. All right, now that's looking more like it. And for the second recipe, that's all there is. This, and we're going to fry up the tofu a little bit, mix it together, and that's finished. On a medium heat, a little bit of oil. You see they still have a little bit of wetness to them. It's all right. It's all right. We'll put them in. All right, and I'll teach you a Korean cooking adjective. It's called 노릇노릇, which means light golden brown. Oh, by the way, the heat, medium low. After about 5 minutes, let's see if they've turned 노릇노릇. Indeed, they have. And once you flip it, we'll give the other side around 2 minutes because we're going to add in the braising sauce and it's going to continue cooking on that side. Give a little mix up. And after around 2 minutes, let's add in our sauce. Beautiful. Treat this like a steak. Get that butter over that prime meat. Guys, it's a lot of fun to imagine while you're cooking. All right, don't you remember Annie in that movie? She imagined a buffet. Then I got a handful of spring onions, chopped spring onions. Just throw that in. Woo, this smells incredible. Okay, very simple. We'll put a lid on it until the broth gets a little bit more sticky. And after just a few minutes, wow, take a look. Amazing. You see a little bit stickiness? This is that texture I like. You can rub that sauce over your rice and I'm telling you, game over. There's no need to go outside and see friends. Let me just show you all that goodness back here. Yep. Let me give one of the uglier ones a taste. Yeah, this one's shape is not as good. Whew. All right, split it right down the middle. I'm gonna dip it more in the sauce back here. Let's give it a taste. There's no going back. That oyster sauce plus honey with the gochugaru and the soy sauce. I'm telling you, this is next level tofu. There's no need to go to a restaurant. I mean, it's amazing. A little bit of sauce on top of each one. And guys, that right there, that's easily the best tofu recipe we have. This is just money. Yes, that tofu is as good as it looks. Now we're gonna go on to one of my favorite banchans, the potato and bacon. That's right, potatoes and bacon. And you know, in Korea, one of my friends, they were looking at our video and they're like, dude, your bacon in Korea looks so weak. And I have to admit, yes, it does. Let me open this up and show you our wimpy bacon. Yeah. It's not as, it's not the American bacon. But one key difference, American bacon, a lot of grease comes out. This one, not as much. So later when we fry this bacon, if you get a lot of grease pulling up in your frying pan, put some paper towel and get that out. 2 potatoes, roughly the size of your palm. This banchan was actually one of my favorite banchans that my mom used to make me. Instead of baking, she used ham and then she threw in some carrots and some bell peppers. But I think those 2 other vegetables, the time it takes to cut, it doesn't add that much flavor. Let's go with the 핵심, which means the key. We're gonna have to julienne this, so get them thin. And this is home cooking, so you know, just go quickly. You don't have to get the perfect like julienne pieces. But if you're practicing to go to culinary school, do it properly, no cheating. One thing we'll do is blanch this. This will get the potato starch out, that way it doesn't crumble when we stir fry it. And by the way guys, if you're a slow cutter or if you're a beginner, what I would recommend while you're cutting the potatoes, you can soak this in some water. That way it doesn't change colors. And then we'll also dice half an onion. This onion is gonna add sweetness when we stir fry it. All right, while that's coming to boil guys, we want thin strips of our bacon. This as well. We'll just break them up. Once that comes up to a boil, a little bit of salt, and then I'm gonna add in our potatoes. Actually, it looks like there's not enough space. Let's just let them swim. Blanch them for only 2 minutes. All right, after 2 minutes, let's take them out. I told you we'll get them, no worries. Just a tad bit of oil, get our bacon going. Stir fry it up. Now, as I said, if you're using like American bacon or very fatty bacon, you're gonna get a lot of oil. So before we add in our onions, use a paper towel and drain some of that out. This is good enough. Add in our onions now. Stir it around for about a minute. And then we're gonna add in our potatoes. Mix that around. Then we're gonna add in half a tablespoon of sugar. Oh man, it smells so good. And then we're gonna add in a half a tablespoon, same amount of salt. Now we get some seasoning from the potatoes. Bob Marley says stir it up. Stir it up. And then take a look at your beautiful bacon and stir fry. We got one bacon doing flips over there. Thinks it's at SeaWorld. Before we finish, let's give this a taste. It tastes so good. I just need a little bit pinch more of salt. Ah, it's delicious. Hit the thing with a little bit of sesame seeds. Let's pour a little bit into a bowl here. Ah, doesn't this look wonderful? I'm gonna sprinkle one more thing of sesame seeds. If you have black sesame seeds, this is the time to put it on because the background is white. Fortunately, I don't have any. Sprinkle on some of that chopped spring onions. And there you go, my friends. Potato, bacon, stir fry. The best part about this one is that the potato, it doesn't break apart, right? It's cooked through, but it's not gonna crumble when you grab it, right? Look at that. It still has some give. And now it's time to eat. Everything has been plated. Look at our tteokbokkum. Now the noodles have turned a little bit bloated because we waited a little bit long. Our beautiful life-changing tofus. This you can kill a whole bowl of rice just by itself. And then this fantastic bacon and potato stir-fry banchan. Amazing. That you can also kill another bowl of rice. Alright guys, allow me to start with the soup first. It's amazing. So good, so good. Alright, here we go. Guys, I'm so happy right now. If you're stuck at home because your friend didn't invite you to something, it's not gonna make you feel whole, but it's gonna sure make you feel better. It's a good meal. So neighbors, what do you think? Are you thinking 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, or are you gonna make me happy and do all 3? If you're at home, don't just sit around. Get in the kitchen with me, cook it up. hone this life skill called cooking. And let's enjoy, y'all. Let's enjoy. I'm out.